Problems 2 and 3 ask you to determine if something is a function or not. So let's talk about what a function is first. And I'm going to go back up to problem 1 to illustrate a couple things. We said that these are all relationships. X is being related to Y somehow. But is it a function? The way that you tell if something is a function, you check first, is there any repeating in the domain? So when I look at the domain values, I don't care about the range values yet. Only looking at the domain values, are there two of the same thing? There are. 0 repeats. So once I find a repeating value, I look to see whether the Y value also repeats. In this problem, the Y value does not repeat. It's 2 one time and it's 4 another time. That is the definition of not being a function. So how do we see that? In a table, it's easy to see. In a graph, how do we see that? We take our vertical line, or our ruler, and we move across the graph from left to right. As we hit parts of the graph, you notice, for example, here I hit 1 point. That's okay. When I hit 0, though, I actually intersect at 2 points. This is a violation of being a function, so this is no longer a function. And as I move on, I hit 1 time. It doesn't matter how often it happens. If it happens once, it's not a function. The easiest way to see whether something is a function or not is to do a mapping. When you do a mapping, you can look and see right here that 0 has 2 arrows coming away from it. This means that it's not a function. As soon as you see a number that has 2 arrows coming away from it, that is a bad thing. When you see 2 arrows going to a number, this is okay. We don't care about that. It's the 2 arrows that leave from the function. So let's go ahead and let's apply that to our problem number 2. When I look at problem number 2, I want to look at the domain. So I want to look at the first values. Now, since there's not that many numbers, I can easily check these one by one, and I need to see if there are any repeats. There are no repeats in the domain, so since there are no repeats in the domain, we say yes. The reason is because there are no repeated domain values. So no repeated domain means that it is a function. In number 3, we'll do number 3 in a moment.